Siguro day mo lang.
Sa baba. Nasa baba ka
Kahapon pa yan nilagay na presentation na first day na nasa Dubai.
Kahit nakita ko nakala sila kapag naglagay ako ng chair sa baba. Ayos ng smart yung kahapon.
Siguro yung iba yan yung barangay yung stretch. Yung dalawang taas sa akin.
Anyway.
Ang kailangan lang, pag kukunin yung questions na sinabi you will be...
Hindi ulit, di ba nakakatigilan? Wala ko. Punta na lang, straight A.
Hindi, yung papel yata baka mag-distribute sila. Pero hindi sila. Hindi gano'n. So, ano? Hindi ko alam. Sabi nila. Oh, whatever. Mabigyan ng mga exam para kukunin sa dadating. Ikaw na lang. Ano mag-hindi na ako siya? Maganda. Kahit sila. Kailangan mo na dito. Ayun.
Grabe! Special you eh. Pwede ka naman na. They are to start ngayon.
Siya first plenary pero.
Ano niya? Lalagyan.
Kaya pinalitan sa yung carpet. Hi. How are you doing? Good morning.
Wala sa apelido.
Probably Mr. Dawson.
SM.
Video. Globe.
Datak sila na.
Like, ano,
Sarap.
we would like to thank those who did not sponsor us.
Oh.
Talaga ang lahat ng malalaking
Seryoso?
like those who did not sponsor kasi delete photo. Bakit? Para wala na.
Baka lang sakali may tamaan.
Kasi hindi ko na alam eh. Parang pati guest eh. Kaso na ngayon naabot na ito. Yung mga like to take those. Not just. Wala akong masawa. Hindi pa. Natawa yun na eh. Yag. Nakas sila. Lempe. Wala ko na kami. Hindi siya bukas kaya hindi na tayo. Tapos na. Tapos binigyan na. Yes. Tapos, meron ang picture, ipopost ko sa phone. Hello, Daddy. Kumain ko sa IHOP ko. Nagkukwento na sila, tinatawag sila pala sa Daddy. Sige, kakasa. Pero maganda yung kuha.
Kasama ako niyo.
Uy! Ano yun? May mga tao na ha. Hardly pa. Download speed ng 8. Download 10. Stream.
Mbps. MB, diba? Saya tayo.
Kaya tapos sila si RD. Nag-download pa.
Siya dito eh, parang kumukuha ko. Oo. Kasi yung pwede.
Okay, ready ka na?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. We would like to remind everyone that we will be raffling off 3 more cellular phones and 2 iPads within the day. 3 more cellular phones and 2 iPads within the day. The summit will continue in 5 minutes.
Social investors with social businesses for a very special purpose. to address the world's most pressing problems, such as nutrition, energy, environment, education, and health. We do this through social business incubator funds. Our local incubator teams search for and create social business opportunities to help communities in need. By developing a social business plan, providing real-world business training, and opening doors to useful networks. When these businesses become successful, the social business pays back the initial investment, so the same dollar can be recycled to help more social businesses. Same dollar, new social business. In Haiti, we've invested in a bakery that produces fortified bread for the local community suffering from malnutrition. This bakery has created a social impact at every stage of the value chain by generating demand for the local farmers, creating local employment, and most importantly, producing affordable nutrients so that even the poorest citizens can live healthier lives. Yunus social business is driven by enthusiastic, international consulting, finance, and development professionals. In countries like Haiti, Albania, Brazil, Tunisia, Togo, and Germany. And we're also expanding to other countries. We are Yunus Social Business, and we are passionate about developing business solutions to solve the world's greatest social problems.
Day 3 of the 2013 Partnerships Against Poverty Summit. Welcome once again, Mr. Larry Reed.
Mabuhay! Welcome. It's an exciting day we have today. I want to welcome all of you and our guests for today. We have a session on social business, as you just saw on the film. And a brief announcement as you're here, we'll make this announcement again at the end. There's a change in rooms on the workshops that follow. So the session, What Could Go Wrong? Managing Risk in Mobile Platforms, has been moved from Reception Hall to Summit Hall F. Okay, the What Could Go Wrong from Reception Hall to Summit Hall F. Partnerships that utilize microfinance for post-disaster assistance and post-conflict support is moved from Summit Hall F to the Reception Hall. So those two have switched rooms. All right. I invite Professor Muhammad Yunus, Alip from Cardbank, and Nasser Al-Kahtani to join us on stage. And we will start, Professor Yunus, why don't we start with you, giving your presentation on social business, and we'll be joined shortly by Secretary Imelda Nicolas, who is going to moderate this session. So,
start this time?
Yeah, go ahead and start.
Good morning. Well, it's a last day. It's a fun day for all of us to kind of reorganize ourselves to spend the day how we want to make things happen in future. This session is on social business. I don't have to define it what it is, but the way it began, I think it's very interesting to understand. We didn't have any idea that we will be creating something called social business. It's a circumstances pushed us into that direction because we had no other way. Like many times we say, necessity is the mother of invention. So we were pushed in a situation where we have no other options but to do that. So we did something in that direction, trying to solve the problem. Every time I see a problem, I try to address that problem in a business way. I create a business. So I created lots of such businesses. But the one thing common in that business is that I had no intention of making any personal money out of those businesses, or anybody else making personal money out of this business. And you saw similar theme when I created the bank called Grameen Bank. There was no intention of making money out of this personal money out of the bank. It was created in a way so that the borrowers can become the owners of the bank. And that's how it has been designed, that's what it remained. And we are very happy with that. And many other things I did in the same spirit, many companies, so that it solves a problem. There are so many problems around us, particularly when we look at the poor people. So I will just give some examples to kind of illustrate what we try to do. Bangladesh has lots of cataract problem on the eyes. Somewhat, either it's a climatic situation or some diet reason, it's very early on, people catch up with the cataract. But there's not enough capacity in the country to deal with the cataracts. And people traditionally accept it as a part of aging. When you grow old, you see less. So this, people don't dispute that. It's a fate that is a part of growing old. But of course, science has changed everything. So we thought, why don't we create an eye care hospital so that we can take care of the cataract operations and help people to get new eyesight. So we calculated how much we need. We saw that it takes about $2 million to set up a good quality eye care hospital, land, building, constructions, etc., including equipment, doctors. And we did it in the rural areas, capable of 10,000 cataract operations per year. And just like any other hospital, we do that, but our principle was nobody will be rejected, whether they have money or they don't have money, whether they can pay or they don't pay. Nobody will be rejected. But the hospital itself has to cover all its cost by the people who can afford to pay and also cross-subsidizing people who cannot pay. And it was a kind of a venture idea that we still don't know what will happen. But luckily it worked very well. In 4 years' time, we came to the break-even point. We are very happy that we made it. It's a beautiful hospital, people get good treatment, and you come to the break-even point in 4 years. And no intention of making any money out of the whole operation. Hospital earns money, it creates surplus, surplus stays with it and continues. Then encouraged by the experience of the first hospital, we created the second hospital in the same way, another region, another part of this country. Second hospital came to the break-even point in three years. We are very excited. So we created the third hospital. Third hospital is now in operation and is doing very well. So we moved to the fourth hospital. And as it comes to the break-even point, it starts paying back the money that you have invested in it. And the money that comes out from all these 4 hospitals will be enough to set up another hospital. And money that will be coming out from all the 5 hospitals will be enough to create the 6th hospital. So you can go on, it's an expanding system. Whatever you have invested, it's coming back and you are reinvesting it and you create new things. So this is the basic idea, what we call social business. It departs from the conventional idea that business has to be something profit-centric, a personal profit-centric. So you make money out of the business. If you take the profit part of it, separate, that I don't want to make profit, I want to dedicate the business to solve a problem, suddenly this becomes a very powerful tool. So we thought, why don't we use the power of business in solving problems? Usually these type of problems are solved by charity. You have a charity hospital so that everybody is treated, and then you go out to raise money to run it for another year, and then you run out of the money at the end of the second year, you go out, raise more money to run it for the third year. So constantly you are looking for money to run it. So this is the limitation of charity activities. Every time you need fresh money to make it happen. So I keep saying that charity money has one
output
life. But if you can turn it into business, and which is now called social business, it has endless life. It recycles, continues to do it, and goes very, very powerful. And that idea is empowered us. Now we have joint ventures with big companies like Danone. Danone is a multinational company. We wanted to address the problem of malnutrition among the children of Bangladesh. Nearly half the children of Bangladesh are malnourished. So what we thought in this new company, social business company with Danone, why don't we create a special kind of yogurt with all the micronutrients which are missing in the children into the yogurt, vitamin, iron, iodine, zinc, etc. And then make it very delicious. Make it very cheap so that even the poorest child can afford it. And we did that. It is the experience and technology of Danone which made it happen. And now we're selling it, children love it, it's expanding it. But this is a social business. Danone will never take any profit out of this company. And of course, it will be expanding itself with its own money, plowing back the profit that is coming into the business. Investors can take back only the total amount of money that they have invested, nothing more from them. So that idea now spreading in the other regions. Many joint ventures are coming. We are right now working in 7 countries. We are invited into those countries, starting from Brazil. We have a big presence in Brazil, Colombia, Haiti, Albania, India, Tunisia, Uganda. And many more countries are just waiting in line to get into it. What we do with that kind of intervention, we create a social business fund in each country and a social business incubation company. Social business incubation company goes around in the country exciting people to come up with ideas how to solve problems that we see around us. Problems are very familiar. It's the same thing all over the world. Unemployment, poverty, diseases, healthcare, housing, and you name it, environment. So once you do something in a social business way in one country, this becomes a knowledge, this becomes a intellectual property for the whole world, that you share it and you solve your own problems. When you bring down the big problem into a small piece, it becomes immediately solvable. And if you do it in a business way, it becomes sustainable. All you have to do, just design the first one. If you have designed the first one, if it works, then literally you have designed a seed, a miracle seed. If this seed works, then you go on multiplying. When we invent medicine for a disease, we don't apply it for everybody. We test it out for a few people. If it works, then that medicine can cure the disease for everybody. That's how the social business works. If you can work it for few people and it works for them in a business way, then you can do it the whole global way, no problem. Now we see the good response in different ways. Social business funds are being created internationally. India has created 2 social business funds already. And a large bank in France called Crédit Agricole is the 2nd largest bank in Europe. They have created social business fund based in Luxembourg. So that fund is waiting for, this is a global fund. Anybody who wants to get involved in social businesses, they would like to invest in them. So this is already available. So in social business, we see we want to bring the money first and then invite the ideas to come forward so that ideas don't get kind of frozen because I don't have the money, what is the use of thinking about it? So we said, here is the money, you come forward and you'll invest in it. When Danone wanted to invest money in social business in Bangladesh, they had a problem. Their lawyers said Danone cannot invest their company money in Bangladesh for social business. Why? Because shareholders gave the money to Danone management to use the money to make more money. If they use the shareholders' money to invest in Bangladesh in a social business which says they will never give any dividends, it will be the violation of the mandate given by the shareholders. So Danone cannot put their money into Grameen into a social business company in Bangladesh. So they were in trouble, but they found a solution. What they did, before the annual general meeting of Danone, of the shareholders, they have more than 300,000 shareholders, they sent out a letter to every single shareholder that this year we are going to give dividend from Danone X amount of money, and the company is doing very good, and we will be investing small amount, €500,000 in Bangladesh to start this social business in Bangladesh, which will never give you any dividend, but it will solve the problem of malnutrition in Bangladesh. If any shareholder is interested, personally interested, in investing his or her money into Bangladesh, please sign up this letter and send it back to us how much you want to invest in that company. We need only €500,000. 98% of the shareholders signed up to invest in Bangladesh for the investment in the social business, which will never be any dividend. Total money they collected from this is €35 million. They were asking for only €500,000. They got €35 million. They were very happy. Now it's coming directly from the shareholders, so lawyers cannot object to it, because shareholders gave this money to invest in a company which doesn't give them a dividend. But it created a problem in the company, Danone. The problem was all their employees all over the world got very upset. They started writing to the management that, what do you think? Are we second-class citizens in this company? You asked the shareholders to invest in Bangladesh. You did not ask us. So you have to now send us a new letter, because we don't want to be second-class citizens in this company. The management was forced to write another letter to all the employees of the hundreds of thousands of employees of Danone all over the world. Out of this, another €30 million came. So they had a total of €65 million. They only needed €500,000. So they thought, why don't we create a social business fund out of this, so that we can, in future, when the more businesses come, social businesses come, we can invest. So they created what a social business fund, name is Danone Communities Fund. If you Google it, you'll find it, all the details. Now they invest in 14 different social businesses in 8 different countries. The total money from the shareholders and the employees keep coming every year. Now the total money accumulated in that fund is €93 million. So people who say that, oh, people are only interested in making money, profit is the central thing for everything. This shows it's wrong. If you ask the people the right question, people answer the right way. But simply businesses don't ask the right question. They always say, you want to make money, invest in us. If you ask the question, if you want to change the world, invest in us. And the whole world will change. That's what the social business is all about. Thank you very much.
Secretary Nicolas, first I want to apologize. I started it, I didn't see you there, so I went ahead and started it. I do want to take the time to introduce you properly, because you've been such a good friend to microfinance in the Philippines and to the work that all of us are about here in Indian poverty. Secretary Nicolas is the cabinet-ranked secretary of the Commission on Filipinos Overseas, and under the office of the President of the Philippines. She's been chair of the National Commission on the Role of Filipino Women, where she institutionalized the gender and development budget in the country. And she also served as the Secretary General of the National Anti-Poverty Commission. Secretary Nicolas has been a champion for the poor and a champion of microfinance, and we're so happy to have you with us, honored to have your presence on the stage, and you can take it from here.
Thank you, Larry, and good morning to everybody. Is everybody up and about? Okay. Yes, good. Good morning. Some good morning from you? Okay. As we can see that Professor Yunus already started the ball rolling, but I wanted to be sure that everybody here is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, because we have a very intriguing question before us, and that is social businesses creating solutions for social problems. And as you can see, we have a very distinguished panel of who will try to answer these questions and share their experiences in terms of social businesses in the Arab countries and of course in Asia, and of course Professor Yunus all over the world. So allow me to introduce our 3 panelists. Of course, starting with Professor Yunus. Maybe he doesn't need any introduction, but I will still do it. Yeah, I think only if you come from another planet that you will not know about Professor Yunus. But anyway, let me tell some of you, a few of you who may not know about him. So Professor Muhammad Yunus is the father, and I was telling him, you're the father of many children. So the father of Microcredit, the father of social business, the founder of Grameen Bank, and of more than 50 other countries in Bangladesh. He is one of only 7 individuals to have received the Nobel Peace Prize, the United States Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the United States Congressional Gold Medal. He introduced the concept of social business into the economic framework. So another round of applause for the professor for getting to know him again. So our next panelist, of course, again, I think many of you would know him, is Dr. Jaime Aristotle Alip, the founder and managing director of CARD, Philippines. Dr. Alip is the founder and managing director of CARD, the Ramon Magsaysay Awardee for Public Service in 2008. As of July 2013, CARD outreaches more than 2 million poor families in the Philippines for its microfinance program with over $180 million loan outstanding and providing microinsurance products and services to more than 8.4 million individuals in the Philippines. But actually, Dr. Alip has reached out not only to the Philippines but now to other Asian countries. He has transferred his technology to other Asian countries. So again, another round of applause for Dr. Alip. And then our third panelist, as I mentioned, is from the Arab world, and he's the Executive Director of Arab Gulf Program for Development, Saudi Arabia, and AGFUND, that's the name of the fund, Arab Gulf Program for Development. AGFUND is considered to be one of the most, Mr. Al-Kahtani, are you a doctor too? Are you a professor? Anyway, so Mr. Al-Kahtani is considered to be one of the most distinguished Arab leaders in the field of human development. He's the head of AGFUND team for establishments of the banks for the poor in the Arab world and serves on the boards of many banks and financial institutions working in the microfinance field in the Arab world. So welcome to Mr. Al-Kahtani. Okay. So since Professor Yunus already started his side of the discussion, I'll go already to the second panelist. But in the meantime, please take down questions. While I hope you did take down questions while Professor Yunus was delivering his remarks. But please take down your questions, put down your questions, and some of the staff will be going around to collect them. And after I've asked some of the questions to the panelists, we will ask Larry to go over your questions and read them for the panelists to answer. So this time we will have Dr. Alip first for the social business. How did you translate social business in the Philippine context and in the Asian context, especially in relation to CARD? And I think you have what you call a mutual reinforcing institution. How did you manage with that, and how is that considered social business? So, Dr. Ali.
Thank you, Secretary Nicolas. Actually, CARD, mutually reinforcing institution, is a social business of its kind. And we're a follower of Dr. Yunus. We are a guest. You said, Dr. Yunus, the first day, that the Grameen Bank is owned 98% by the government. CARD Bank is also owned substantially by the members. So this is where we're following your idea on the social business. By the borrowers. And to me and to the CARD group, this is what empowerment is all about. Giving them power, giving them access, and giving them ownership. And that's the whole meaning of the CARD Mutual Reinforcing Institution. We actually have 12 institutions now, started as an NGO, and all these institutions are reinforcing and owned by our members, our borrowers. If I may be given permission, I have some slides so that I can articulate this very well. Otherwise, I will fail as a student of Dr. Yunus. I'm very nervous when I'm always with him.
Clicker is ready.
I know I'm pressed for time, but allow me to present the story of CARD MRI, the CARD Mutually Reinforcing Institution. And this is our story. I'm very proud that till this day, we're still following Dr. Yunus' philosophy and also your advices. Dr. Yunus, I met you 30 years ago, when we were both very young and very handsome at the time. And of course today, Dr. Yunus is more handsome than me. So, but as a student, you will always be more handsome than me. And I'd like you to tell the story, and Dr. Yunus has been a great source of inspiration to us. From the day I met you till this day, you always continuously inspire us. And this is our story. I will not belabor you anymore about the Philippines condition. I think this was explained 2 days ago. You know, there's still a lot of poor people in this country. 1/3 of our population still belong to the poverty level. Translation, that's about 30 million poor people. That's about 6 million families. And in terms of banking, out of 3 Filipinos, only 1 has formal bank account. In terms of microinsurance, insurance for the poor, our insurance about 1% of total GDP. So this is quite very low, and in terms of health, we're still working on with only 20 pesos and a magic typewriter. And our vision is to create a bank that is owned and managed by the poor. As Dr. Yunus has always articulated, ownership is key to empowerment. I've always believed that it is not only access to credit, it is also control of resources. So if you really want to empower the poor, do not just give access. Give them the means, give them the ownership. And this is the story of CARD. We are owned substantially by our clients, by our borrowers. Today, as you can note, from one institution, we have 12 reinforcing institutions. We have the bank, we have the CARD SME Bank, wherein the graduates of all the microfinance entrepreneurs move to the next level. They become SME. I like the word of Dr. Yunus the first day. We are no longer job seeker. We're job creator. And this is the essence of what microfinance is all about, the microcredit. We create employment. We don't seek employment. And today, we have proven that. We have also moved away from not only financing, not only credit, but we have seen and understanding the poor that they also have many needs. We also established our own insurance company. Today, as you have seen in the papers today, if you have seen the papers in the Philippine Star, we are doing like what Dr. Yunus have said, doing joint venture with commercial insurance company, with Pioneer, a very understanding partner. It's a commercial insurance company who joined force with us. We're now in joint venture with them. The first time in the Philippines, a microfinance institution, a mutual benefit association joining force with a commercial insurance company, because we will do, and we have been doing disaster insurance, we will do our own crop insurance, agricultural insurance. Philippines is always besieged by a number of typhoons, 21 to 23 every year. We will also implement our own business interruption insurance. This is what our client needs. And because they own it, they're major and part owner, we can do this. So for us, in the social business, it is transformational. We do a lot of innovation. We do support to the SME, and we are not selfish. we disseminate what we have learned. Because we know that we're not just in the business of doing microfinance or microcredit. We're in the business of poverty eradication. So that is the perspective. We will work together to solve the issues on poverty, not only with reference to credit. And as I've said, in our institution, Card Bank is substantially owned now by our clients, by our borrowers. In the future, we want at least 70 to 80% controlled and owned by our members. Today, we still have the NGO as part owner, and then this will be slowly given to the members. We also have the Card MBA, the Mutual Benefit Association. Our MBA, the first micro-insurance company in the Philippines, and we're happy to know this is 100% owned by the members. Never in the history in this country that the owners are the poor. And today, our numbers is the biggest. We now insure 9 million individuals in this country, and we're very proud to say this is the poorest among the poor, and we contribute 21% of the entire insured Filipinos in this country. And more than that, we're happy to say that we've also changed the paradigm on the payment scheme, because many insurance company, the commercial insurance company, takes time for them to pay. We have now moved the standard. We're now known as the 135 institution. Within 1 day, we will pay when there's a claim. And if there's questions on documentation, in 3 days, we will pay. Or if there are also legalities, in 5 days with finality, we will settle and make the payments. Commercial insurance company, a number of them are also known as 135. It takes them 1 year, 3 years, 5 years before they pay you. To us, because the owners are the members, they do the policy, and it's very cheap because we do the validation. That's why within the day, through our center, we can do the validation. I'm now moving the standards to make it 8, 24, 36, 8 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, because we're able to do it in 1 day at 97% payment. Ladies and gentlemen, this club belongs to our clients. A number of our clients are here. And mind you, all the board members are coming from the clients, 100% owned. And they are the one who made this possible of the 135. We're changing the paradigm. And today, because of this, we're replicating this not only in the Philippines, but in other parts of the world. Let's look again, another example, boutique card. You know, Dr. Yunus is right. There are problems not only on education. Health is a big issue. He was mentioning about the hospital. Dr. Yunus, we're now negotiating to buy a hospital also, owned by the members. But look at this, the boutique card. We have set up our own pharmaceutical company because the commercial branded medicine is too expensive. 40 to 60% of the increased income of our clients, our borrowers, when they get sick, they spend a lot of money. And we found out that if we have, and if they own their own company, the drugstore, they will be able to reduce the cost very, very significantly. And today, we have our own drugstore, our own pharmaceutical company, selling and promoting generic medicine. And coupled with that, we have our own doctors, we have our own nurses, we have our own clinics. And many people say, why are you in that activity? You're supposed to be doing only microfinance. I said, no, we are in the business of poverty eradication. We will solve the problem not only in credit, but also in health, because health is a big issue, and we will try to solve the problem. Today, we have produced thousands of nurses from our clients, thousands of doctors, and we now have many chain of drugstore branches all over the country. We're also happy to know that we're now negotiating to buy our own hospital. We will join force with other microfinance institutions like ASA Philippines and other
NWTF, ASHI, they've joined force and we're looking at this possibility. And this is, Dr. Yunus, like what you're saying, this is the social business in the context of our country, wherein the owners will be our clients. And you gave me inspiration that first you start with a small hospital. And based on that income, then you will buy another hospital. Because today, hospitals are being bought by many of our rich people and rich companies. We have to play the game. We have to move in there because our clients need these kinds of assistance. I've mentioned about our recent joint venture with Pioneer. Pioneer is one of those commercial insurance companies that really have a social conscience. And this is a true example of the social business with them. Because here they are, joint venture with our mutual benefit association, owned 100% by our members. And we will do what other insurance companies are not able to do. We will do our own agricultural insurance, we will do our own health insurance, we will do our own business interruption insurance, and our disaster insurance. And our difference will always be this. We will always be the 135 institution. After the typhoon, when the typhoon has just ended, our people are there paying the claims of our members. We will not wait beyond 24 hours because when they needed it most, we are there to serve them. And of course, the capacity building will always be attended because this is more transformational for us, continuing education and helping them. Part of being a social business, our board are mostly coming from our clients. They have been elected. They determine the destiny of the institution. They determine the kinds of products. They determine the kind of services. And we respond to their requirements. And of course, I'd like to mention also the innovation. We're now also doing innovation using the mobile banking. As I've said, 1/3 of the Filipinos are banked. Only about complete translation of that is about 26.6% of the Filipinos have formal bank accounts. And the rest don't have. But using the mobile banking, we're very glad that BSP is allowing us to pilot this and roll this out because of their very good support and policy for microfinance. I think we will be able to reach out the unbanked sector of the country using the mobile banking. And we are working long and hard with the Grameen Foundation for the last 4 years. Dr. Yunus, you also started the Grameen Foundation in USA. May I tell you that your people have been very, very supportive and have been helping us a lot. And may I tell you that the BSP, the Bangko Sentral of the Philippines, have really been very responsive and have been helping us to really move into this next level. I'd like you to give that a round of applause for this. This is the only way I can say thank you publicly to these different institutions who have been helping us. And there are still many more who have been helping us. Many of our commercial banks also have been with us. They look at this also as a social business, helping us, providing us the funds. You have the BPI, you have Banco de Oro, Metrobank, even PCFC, Land Bank, DBP, all sorts of these different kind of institutions helping us. So I guess our success on promoting the social business is not only lying on what we do, but also the support of the people. I will now like to end here because I get very excited and passionate. I only have limited time. Dr. Yunus, you continuously inspire us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Aris. Before we came on stage, he told me, Manny, you have to stop me because I can get very passionate and forget about the time. But he did keep within the time. I was about to stop him, but he stopped himself. So now we have our third panelist, and Mr. Al-Kahtani. And my first question, which I hope your presentation will answer, is that it's an intriguing idea that Saudi Arabian Foundation is empowering women. So I think that could be the trigger to your presentation and to give us more information about AGFUND.
Good morning. It's an honor for me to be here. in front of you talking about social business. I'm in front of my professor. I graduated from his school, Dr. Muhammad Yunus. I'm one of his students anyway. I will come to microfinance and social business. Your question, we probably will answer your question. How come we empower women? AGFUND created in 1980 with the initiative of His Royal Highness Prince Al-Kahtani to reflect his vision. He's saying all the time, without empower women, there is no way we could take the developing country out of poverty and be in the developed country without empowering them. So our strategy and his vision, we just fund project going to women and children. By the way, if we receive a project giving priority to women, we don't fund it. We fund it if it's 100% to women directly. This is what we do in the AGFUND. And this is his vision. And His Royal Highness started with support of the GCC country. Funds come from the GCC country. We've been in 131 countries, giving women education, health, and economically empowerment. So we fund more than 1,000 projects on all over the world, with 17 United Nations organizations, 200 NGOs, and this is one of the ways we in AGFUND start doing in development. How our story with microfinance? You know, started in 1980s. AGFUND started doing microfinance through United Nations and particularly through government. In the 80s, all governments all over the world, they're trying to do microfinance. So we funded it through the United Nations, but we found out within many years that government cannot do microfinance. So movement moved to where NGOs and MFI. We funded more than 100 NGOs and MFI in the whole world. Through United Nations, directly. We found out NGOs and MFI doing a good job. But the framework has not given us the maximum of financial inclusion. That was happening sometime in the beginning of the 90s. We start thinking and we propose this is, how can we do something that's different? Mid-90s, we stop and evaluate what we're doing in AGFUND, and we said, let's do something that's not conventional. Let's do something creative. And when we start doing it, everybody telling us, do it as a bank. We knew that we need a full-fledged bank to serve microfinance if we want to take women out of poverty. Without have saving, insurance, credit, etc., there is no way we could help them. When it's come to this, people come and goes, as you said, everybody can go with the private sector. We start. Our mandate is not to make money and do dividends. So we bring the private sector, we negotiate, we talk. At that time, when we start thinking about creating the bank, there is a big movement for Eastern Europe. You know, World Bank, IFC, KfW, IBC, they create bank in Eastern Europe with 2 million grant and 3 million as an equity with the private sector, and they create it. And at that time, I approached our friend over there, and I said, let's do one project in the Arab region. I was receiving the letter that said they are not interested to do something in Yemen for the time being because Yemen is not ready to even have a microfinance. I said, oh my gosh, what can we do? We start talking to the people in the region doing this as a business. When we start talking to people in the business, are you big enough to make money and give us a dividends? We cannot do it. I said, oh my gosh, so how can we do this? And it's happened that His Royal Highness met with Dr. Muhammad Yunus. I was that day attending the dialogue when they discussed. And Dr. Yunus came up and said, do it as a social business. I said, Royal Highness, what do you mean by social business? I was a student at that time and listening what social business is from Dr. Muhammad Yunus. I said, there is no dividend. That's an excellent approach. We start doing this. You know what? Within 6 months, I found a lot of interested investors in the Arab region want to do social business. And we start doing, okay, we need a license to a bank. Yes, sir. Bank, central bank does not allow anybody to do microfinance bank. Oh my gosh. Now I have the fund. I want to open a bank. And Dr. Yunus, we need your help. So we started and get our first license in Yemen in 2003. When we get the license in our hand, our friend wrote all negative report about this initiative and said, this is not going to work, and start all report coming in the news saying if AGFUND will create that bank in Yemen, will destroy the whole market. I said, oh my God. So it delayed the process of opening the bank in Yemen. It's happening that we was part of the Microcredit Campaign. 1997, it's happened, the regional conference was held by AGFUND and the Microcredit Summit 2004. Yunus was there in the conference. And I said, Nasser, what can we do for the outbreak? And I said, we want to start a first social business. And we was going to meet Grameen at that time, Dr. Yunus and I. And he said, how can we help them? I said, the money is there, just we need a license. He talked to His Royal Highness, to Grameen, and we have the license in 2005, just 1 year after. And we opened the first bank in Jordan as a social business. When it's successfully done, we open our bank in Yemen as a social business. And this is how it started bringing business people in the table. This is, we start, there is a company, there is no difficulty. How our model is working. You look at it, we there not to open a bank. We there to open concept of microfinance and social business. We help government to create the legal environment. Because with the central bank, if you cannot, this bank under the supervision of the central bank, we don't open it. Government got to listen to us and create the legal environment first and support the initiative. We bring them faster and faster to put their money and they share the bank. By the way, AGFUND doesn't share the bank. We create AGFUND Technical Assistance Unit. And believe me guys, when we start in Jordan, Dr. Muhammad Yunus in the board, we created the first bank. It took us just 6 months to replicate it in Yemen. It's simple. You know how much it cost us seed money to open a bank? While internationally, seed, they need 2 million. It cost us $300,000 to set up the start of the bank. Software. By the way, we don't bring software from, by the way, I saw people right now talking about, I saw visitors from big banks, networking, doing the latest technology. If you start using this from the beginning, you'll be losing money. Start using local software. Believe me, now in the Arab region, we do have now 2 software become international. When we started, it was local. So we create job, we have people linked. If we link with the mobile, if we don't have the developer in the same country, talking the same language, it will take them forever, or will be costly. I cannot tell you the number because it doesn't cost that much. But it is functioning like any bank in the world being this. We ended up having 7 banks. We started 2006, and until now 2013. We opened 7 banks, every bank every year. So now we have bank in Jordan, we have bank in Yemen, Syria, Bahrain, Lebanon. Soon, next month we'll be in Sudan. And the good thing about it, we already transferred the knowledge and technology from Yemen to Sierra Leone. The poorest country in the Arab region opened the first bank in Sierra Leone, the poorest country in that. And how much does it cost? $80,000 to transfer knowledge and technology and software, and the bank is open in Sierra Leone, serving 3,000 women. You imagine that the poverty is something that's complicated. The solution is so simple. Our problem, we want to solve the problem in a complicated way. No, let's use it simple. Use simple software until you become involved. Now, Alhamdulillah is here in Yemen, he wants advanced software. It took him 3 years to use the local one, but now develop, and believe me, this is make us proud that Yemeni within a year could go all the way to Sierra Leone and do the strategy and the software and open the bank. How nice it is, you know. This is, it took any organization 10 years to have somebody say, he's an expert. No. With AGFUND banks, within a year, you became an expert. We became expert. Our team is around nowadays. We was here in February, Dr. Yunus and Prince Talar, and we talk about social business here. They already finished the feasibility study. We sat yesterday with our colleague at the Central Bank, and we move on. This is the area we do. The good thing about it, how we make ourselves different. First of all, our investor is a business people who believe in social work. They don't do dividend. What makes us different from banks, we have no pressure on our board from shareholder to make a dividend. We have one pressure to solve social problem. You see that this is the point. Now, if you look at it during the Arab Spring in the Arab region, our bank in Yemen is continue open. We didn't close our bank one day. When the Arab Spring started in Yemen, we have 11 branches, serving 15,000. When the crisis ended, we already opened 17 branches. We increased our number to 25,000. We did not fire any officer. We recruit more than 100 officers during the crisis. And this is the way, if we have been profit, we would stop. Because the pressure from the shareholder, while we continue. Now we are in Syria. We opened a branch last month in Sweden, a new branch. One of our branches in Damascus, now it collapsed already, we open a new one. So you see, we're there to help people. We are not there to make money and withdraw. If we are big banks or making money from investor or taken, we will leave right away with everybody. But we never recruit anybody in the bank except from the local bank. And we make them experts. Take them outside and bring them back. That's the way it is. You imagine during the crisis that we do have somebody from outside Yemen. They will not stay in Syria. They will not stay. While now our bank is functioning because their own people is working in the field and they become an expert to solve their problem. The second thing, we are the first, organization to do microfinance for refugees. When the crisis happened in Syria, our bank in Lebanon started to microfinance for refugees in Lebanon, and our colleague in Syria doing for dismissed people and doing microfinance. This is a new product. That's why we here as a social business solving this problem because one other example I want to show you, which is happening with the welfare in Yemen. What we did now, because government is supporting us. By the way, you need always government to support, because it's essential to support. But be careful for government, they stay there and stop you not to work. You have to be independent, because right now, even our model creates confidence between regional or international organization, business people and government. Because right now when we talk to the government, they don't look at us as the private sector, because they're always scared. Private sector just want to make money. No, we're there to help them to solve problems. So our approach, we approach the welfare in Yemen. They have given almost $1 million. What we did, simple. We told them, we'll open an account for the million family. So we include them in the financial system. Second, we educate them to make savings. So if you open an account and you have access to have your first account and you deposit whatever money comes from government in that account, you are entitled to multiply that by 10 and get a loan, start your business. If you make saving $1, you're entitled to take $5 as a loan. So it's started now and moving, and believe me, there is a lot of people came back and said, we don't need the welfare. We have enough money to be graduated. Now, the first time is happening, representative of the government now attending conference with us, with AGFUND team. You imagine, Amal Bank or Bank Yemen coming with the group, government is there because they are part of the success. Private sector is here and the practitioner is here. So they're solving the problem together. I'm just giving you numbers. Since inception of AGFUND until mid-90, we funded $250 million. Now, when we started with social business, from the inception until now, we distribute more than $200 million in 7 banks. You know how much is our initial investment in that money? $11 million. The rest of the money coming as equity from private sector, loan, etc. Each dollar AGFUND invested in social business will bring $15 minimum. So this is a way of leveraging it. We cannot do it if it's profit or government. We do it because it's social business. Social business.
Mr. Kahtani,
yes.
please wrap up.
And this is the end of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kahtani. So now, again, to remind people, if you have questions, please write them down and the staff will pick it up. So I'll first ask a question that I am addressing to all three. One of them is that, of course, some smart Alex would say that social business as a term is a contradiction in terms, you know, social with business. So how can you help in terms of people have a better understanding of social business, and how do you think we can convince other people to use social business as an alternative way of doing business? The second is all of you have very successful social businesses, as you can see from your presentation. What do you think is the key to your success of your social business, of your particular experience in social business? So those are the two things. One is the misperception or misunderstanding of what you mean by social business, and second, what is the key to your success in terms of your individual, your respective social businesses? Maybe Professor Yunus first.
Yeah. One is the difference between the conventional business and the business that we are calling social business is, one is me-centric. It's for me. Business is always self-centered. It's a profit, personal profit. When we say profit, it's personal profit. So every business we do is for me. When you turn it around, you create some other kind of business, it's not for me, it's for others. So distinguish these two things. One is me, and it's for others. When you see conventional business, it's all for me. You turn it around, create social business, it's all for others, not me. So in order to distinguish it from the conventional business, we put the word social business. That's as a dearest term that you can find, indicating that it's not me. So that's why I use the word social. Another way we try to explain it, a conventional business is based on people's selfishness, because it draws things to yourself. But we created social business on the basis of selflessness in human being. That I want to exclude me, I want to include others. So it's based on, since it's a selflessness based thing, we thought the word that best expressed in whatever term you can pick is a social business. Social word probably indicates that. Or you can say it's a selfless business. Or it's selfish business, and it is a selfless business.
To what do you attribute the success of your social businesses?
I think the most important thing about it, this selflessness in human being is denied within the framework of business. Because in your what we call capitalist theory, is all profit maximization. And that solves all the problems of the world. But that's a kind of a dream world, all sorts. It's not solving the problem. It's creating the problems. So that's why when we have the 2008 financial crisis, the whole world said, what is that? What are we? And instead of finding solutions, we create problems. So we have to now find a solution to this crisis. 2000 crisis is not a unique and once for all crisis. It's just a mega crisis. There are many other crises already. So we said we must find the basic reason for the crisis. And the basic reason is in the structure, the flaw in the structure, the conceptual framework of it. Because you denied the human being to express their other dimensions. You made them all selfish. And I keep saying that the present interpretation of capitalist system has interpreted human beings as if they are some kind of money-making robots. Human beings are not robots. And that's the expression that we try to bring out the other aspects of human being, the selflessness. That's why the success is because we are unleashing that part. That's the key to that. It touches people. Then finally you see, I could have done that. Why don't I do it? So what was blocked before, you're opening. I think that's the key.
So Dr. Aris, do you want to add to what Professor Yunus has mentioned?
I just want to add Professor Yunus' explanation. The social business is really transformational because when you empower people, you transform their lives. That's why for us, the great manifestation of this transformation is giving them ownership. Ownership to the borrower. This has been emphasized over and again by Dr. Yunus. And we're following that footstep. So it's really more transformational, the education process from the center meeting, because they feel they belong. They're part of this network. They're part of this institution because they own it. So that is very transformational. It determines their own destiny and dictates and determines their own kinds of product and services that is always appropriate for them. Other definition of which I must say that other business are very transactional. I give you credit, you pay me back. I give you credit, you pay me back, and there's the interest rate. It's really more in the context of business transaction. While in the social business, it's not transactional. There is more to it. There is more empowerment into it because you give them the ownership. You train them. You educate them. You change their behavior from being just a server to become real owners. And if you ask me where card is in terms of the example, as I've mentioned, the tenets, the key tenets is that the number one manifestation for us is giving ownership. That's why the whole of card group is all about giving them ownership. Give them the empowerment. And to me, that's what empowerment is all about. I've always believed in the golden rule. He who has the gold will always rule. And if you give that gold, and if you give that means an empowerment to the poor, they will be able to control their lives and they will be able to determine their own destiny. That is why the empowerment, the ownership is very important in the social business.
Thank you. How about Mr. Al-Kahtani? You would like to add to that?
Yeah, actually, what makes our models work, because when we look at it, there is a problem in development, which is cooperation and coordination and dialogue. Our model is led by business people who believe in social, but it's open for all aspects. Government could be partner, NGOs could be partner, and there is a dialogue. And I would say, without having, because as you know from the beginning, all the time you said, no, government cannot do this, and corrupted, and when it's come to government, say, no, this business people, they just come and make money, they don't care about anything. This model put them in the same boat. They talk to each other in dialogue. And this is one of the success that we reach, that this bank got to work with everybody for solving social business approach. And I would say, having business people who invest and put their money up front, this is one of the leading things right now, as Dr. Yunus is saying right now. After 2008, probably, as you know, after 2008, it's easier for us to do social business. By the way, I have more people coming to us after the crisis investing in social business. Before, people was hesitant. And what I did after the crisis, I went back to them. And I said, what about if you give me just a little money? He said, I'm sorry, I lost 100 million. I wish if I give you 1 million. And now, all our banks, it took me just 1 month to collect all the capital from the business people. And this is one of the ways we should be right now, sitting and make a dialogue, as Dr. Yunus said, how can we shape up the future of the economy? Because those people who did not anticipate the crisis and did not solve the crisis doesn't deserve to be working to shape up the future of us. Please, let's put it in hand and look at them. Because right now, if we wait for them and they direct us, so who's got the problem? What is the solution? Now, right now, what happened is big banks, big corporations, they work in the 20 countries, even my country now part of it, they work toward improving the multilateral company. Not give 5% to 10% to innovate publicly. If we have 20 countries, just take 5% what they're making, we will have no poverty in the whole world.
Thank you, Mr. Kahtani. So now I'll ask some questions from the audience. One is directed to Professor Yunus, but I think Mr. Kahtani can also answer part of it. When you set up social business in Africa, especially Central Africa, a zone affected by war, to Mr. Kahtani also, of course, we know about Arab Spring, and yet in spite of that, you continue with your work in the Arab countries in spite of the conflict that is reigning there. So I will ask first Professor Yunus, then Mr. Kahtani. I'll also ask you about that. When will you set up your work in Central Africa, which is a zone affected by war? So beyond the Asia, but more to Africa.
We always consider that no matter what the war, violence, political upheaval, natural disaster, whatever happens, people's life continues. Life doesn't stop. So, and Bangladesh is a good example because we have continuously facing disasters, natural disasters. That doesn't mean we have to shut off everything and go home because natural disasters wiped out everything. Rather, we become more active during the disaster because this is the time that you need to come up and support people so that they can overcome the disaster that they have. Same situation in war, refugee camps, in political turmoil. Life has to carry on. So as the life carries on, you have more opportunities for being creative. How do you bring creative solution to the problems faced by the people? So social business or microcredit, nothing stops in terms of disaster or anything. So if the Central Africa is suffering from that, many of our programs are in the war-torn countries. To give one good example that we were involved in is Kosovo. When the war was going on in Kosovo in 1992, the ceasefire was signed. And still guns were fired, though ceasefire is still not in effect. Right at that time, we were invited to come to Kosovo to start a Grameen program in Kosovo. We sent a team from Bangladesh, headed by a Bangladeshi woman who is part of Grameen Bank. They went there. They don't know where to go because the government didn't exist. There was no government. Banks don't exist. There's no bank. There's no central bank. There's no police. Nothing. And there you are asked to start a Grameen Bank in that backward. And Bangladeshi staff who went there, they were not used to snow. And Kosovo is nothing but snow. 4 months of the year is just covered with heavy snow. So they started there and built a beautiful program. And people admired them because they were the first one to come and support people to start their life again. Because men has all disappeared from Kosovo. There was no young people and old people. Men simply didn't exist in Kosovo. All women left because they all left to Albania and other safe places because of the slaughter that was going on in Kosovo. And these young people who went there, they were not hesitating because there's no government, there's no bank, we have to do a task, and they did the task. So what I'm saying that just because some situation arises in a particular country, that doesn't eliminate the people who live in this country. They are there, their life has to be carried on, and all we need is a support system which enhances their capacity to deal with this problem they have inside of them. So we should be prepared to be at our best in a crisis situation.
Thank you, Professor Yunus. Mr. Kahtani, just a short.
Actually, we in AGFUND, we don't open a bank. We help people to open the bank. Because without having the system, because in Africa, Dr. Yunus helped us to open the first bank in Sierra Leone. We expect our bank in Sierra Leone help all Africa. Because we transfer the knowledge and technology to Africa. So we need government. If there is no system government, we need the business people who make money out of Africa to start social business, for God's sake. I know why there is a conflict. There's a lot of people making a lot of money from Africa nowadays. Especially right now, everybody talking the only area and the farmer need a lot of investment in Africa. They cannot even invest more in that. And this is one of the way we need more enforcement. If there is no government, we need more business people who could even take the lead and help. And as Dr. Yunus is saying, we cannot even ignore those people. But we have to help them to help themselves.
Okay, thank you very much. So this next question is directed to Dr. Alip. You mentioned producing nurses or doctors in your presentation. We know for a fact that many of our healthcare workers leave for better benefits and salary. How do we make sure that our healthcare workers stay here in our country so that we can take care of our own? How would you match the competitive compensations they receive while working overseas?
5 years ago, we ran a survey, and that's when we found out that our clients need very cheap quality medicine. That's why we came up with this generic medicine at the drugstore. And then we also found out that key to the success of prescribing this generic medicine are the doctors. So we started connecting with the doctors in the countryside and in the urban areas. And we talked with them. And we told them, you don't have to go to other countries. You don't have to go to Europe. You don't have to go to US. We will assure you an income stream because we have 2 million clients, including their families. You're talking of 10 million. This is 10% of the entire population of the country. And we talked with them. And many of them have signed up. I'm happy to know that in Quezon province, we have at least motivated a number of doctors who are not going anymore to other countries. They stay because they're looking, many of our doctors really have that social orientation. They want to help. They just don't know the means and how to do it. So we offer them the services. So we accredited them. So these doctors are staying with us. And every time our clients go there, they get they're prescribed with this very cheap generic medicine. And because of our microinsurance, the MPA, they also get paid. And this income stream is very, very regular for them. And for nurses also, because we have seen that the nurses must stay with us. We must produce medical profession not for our countries, for other countries. We must produce it for us because we need them. And that's what we do. Most of our clients, the sons and daughters, have sent their children to education, and many of them are nurses now, and they're now working for us. Many of them are accredited. That's why we're now emboldened to buy a hospital, because the hospital cost is very, very expensive. Because we have doctors now and we have nurses, the missing link is to create and buy a hospital. Otherwise, before you know it, the following day, all our hospitals are controlled by the rich people and the multinational company. We don't want that to happen. We want to have our borrowers and our poor to have a say in this.
Thank you very much. So we have many more questions here. I'm sorry we'll not be able to ask our panelists with all these questions, but thank you for giving them to us. And perhaps later on you can approach the panelists for your specific questions. Just to very brief recap of what we have done here. I think with our three panelists we have had a very refreshing alternative way of looking at business. And I think the key words here is it's not a transactional kind of business, but a transformational kind of business. It is not a selfish way of doing business, but a selfless way of doing business. So I don't think I can I can match the articulateness of our panelists, so I'll end there. So in the meantime, can we give a big round of applause to our three panelists? And now let me call on Larry for some announcements for our participants.
I have the honor of asking Professor Yunus what your commitment is in ending poverty. I know your life is dedicated to that, but the Yunus Center is doing great work, and we'd like to hear from you about what your specific plans are and what your commitments are.
Thank you. I am supposed to read out this statement as a commitment from Yunus Center. This involves what kind of vision we see in future for ourselves and through our Yunus Center. We put it in two ways. One, by 2018, what we'd like to do, and next year, in 2014, what we would like to do. By the end of 2018, we would like to create a global social business sector serving at least 100 million poor people and providing entrepreneurial opportunities for at least 10 million households. And in just over 1 year, by the end of 2014, we would like to help create, finance and expand more than 50 social businesses, to be many more than that by the end of next year, at least in 20 countries. Today we are directly involved in 7. We would like to make it to 20 countries worldwide. Create social business incubation funds, other structures, as I suggested earlier, in at least 10 more countries that we are adding to the one that we have already. Social businesses in Bangladesh will serve at least 2 million households and employ at least 20,000 households. Collect and publish relevant social impact data for all social businesses so that we continue to collect and share it with other people so that they understand what social business means to the families and persons who are involved in that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Secretary Nicolas, and thank you to this distinguished panel. Nasser Al-Kahtani, R.S. Alip, Professor Yunus, this was an outstanding session, and thank you very much for your participation. Just a few announcements. Remember, the commitments wall is out there, and it's almost filled up. So if you have a commitment you want to make, please go to the wall and write it down, and then you can fill it out on a form as well so we can follow up with you on it. But this is the way that we together work to see an end of poverty. It's by making commitments and following through on them and supporting each other to make those things happen. So I encourage you to think through what is your own role in this process of bringing about an end to severe poverty. A few announcements here. Grameen Global Network members are cordially invited to meet with Professor Muhammad Yunus on Friday, October 11th at 3 p.m. in the Leaders Hall. So that's today, 3 p.m. in the Leaders Hall. And Chris has this announcement, so if you want to make sure you have it down and where it is at the time, Chris has more copies of it. Remember the plenary, the workshop sessions, What Could Go Wrong Managing Risk in Mobile Platforms has been moved from Reception Hall to Summit Hall F. This is from 2 to 3:30. What could go wrong managing risk in mobile platforms has been moved from Reception Hall to Summit Hall F, and what was in Summit Hall F, partnerships that utilize microfinance for post-disaster assistance and post-conflict support, has been moved from Summit Hall F to this hall, Reception Hall. We have a group that's been working throughout the summit, started before the summit. We had an in poverty retreat, and in that retreat people came up with ideas of things we could be doing, and then they've been discussing those with people throughout the summit and taking in the input from the different sessions and putting together a draft that is a statement of this summit. And that group will be meeting, asking Chris Temple and the drafting team to please join John Hatch at the commitment wall right immediately after this session. All right, we'll take a break. We're actually ending almost a couple minutes early, so take a break and then head off to your workshops. And we'll see you this afternoon. You don't want to miss the closing plenary. It's going to be great. Oh, sorry, we got one more thing. We got a raffle for iPads and iPhones. So if you want an iPad or an iPhone, or you got iPad and a phone. It's not necessarily an iPhone, right? iPad and a phone.
You should be here to win the raffle. Okay? So before moving to the break, we will be giving out one of the 2 iPads courtesy of Infrasoft Tech. So Infrasoft Tech is a banking solution provider with clients in more than 30 countries, including the Philippines. Infrasoft Tech offers complete core banking, suite microfinance, loans management, and anti-money laundering solution, and recognized by respected industry analysts including Gartner, Celent, and Forrester. For the Philippines, Infrasoft Tech partners with Questronics Corporation, a Filipino IT company and systems integrator with 20 years of track record serving financial services institutions and other industries. So you should be here to win this raffle, 1 iPad. Okay? No drum rolls? Okay, it's a blank sheet. Okay, for the winner of the 1 iPad courtesy of Infrasoft Tech, it's from Pakistan Poverty Alleviation Fund, Muhammad Ahmad. Is he here? So there. Okay, you can claim your prize right now in this area. Congratulations, Muhammad Ahmad. We will provide the others later today. You will not give the time. Alright, thank you.